who assisted the Senegalese bench with walkie-talkies, and you left them at the bench. Please pick them from the referees.
The second match of the day in the Rugby Africa Cup here at Namboole in Uganda. Coming up next is Uganda, the hosts. So in the second cup, in the second placement match, the two lost the cup quarterfinals against the defending champions Namibia and Zimbabwe. Coming up, of course, we shall begin with the anthems of the two nations before kickoff.
Thank you. We shall remain standing for the anthem of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you. And we are going straight into kickoff. Just before that, we are going into the lineups.
After the first classification game between Senegal and, of course, the Ivory Coast, we have the second classification game pitting Uganda against Burkina Faso. The difference in position, Uganda 36th in the world, Burkina Faso 92nd. There's a very big gap on paper, at least. Welcome to yet another live broadcast of the Africa 15s Rugby Cup at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Namboole, where there is all to play for, especially for the hosts. Looking at the lineups that have been picked up, a couple changes made by the Burkina Faso coach Julien Brognot, and of course following that defeat at the hands of Namibia, they will hope that there can be a response from his side to avoid carrying the golden spoon, because failure to win this afternoon means that they go into the 7th, 8th playoff game on Sunday with the chance of being relegated. For Uganda, on the other hand, Fred Budola, the coach, has rung a couple of changes, 3 to be precise. He's introduced the man at shirt number 5, Elfaz Emong, was supposed to start the previous game. Alex Atrina, shirt number 8, champion with the 7th national team in the Africa 7th Championship a couple of weeks ago, had an impact in the second half for Uganda. And of course, Joseph Aredo right there to get us underway for Uganda. John Vianney Simbe alongside Ruben Chihumuro. This is a must-win game for the hosts.
Yeah, definitely. Uganda knows the pressure is on. Of course, after that loss to Zimbabwe and all that was happening on social media, many of the fans felt aggrieved after such a loss on home soil this time round. They know that one thing and one thing alone counts, a win.
Of course, it was quite a close one against Zimbabwe on Saturday. Losing 22-20 was definitely gut-wrenching, but now Uganda off to a good start as Ivan Magomo, the captain. They secure the ruck, good play there. Ball is picked up by Conrad Wanyama. Finds Byron Oketayot trying to get into the Burkina Faso half. And now the man that missed the first game, El Fazemong, will be key. Just how important do you think he'll be for Uganda? Shot number 5, El Fazemong, the lock.
Yeah, just the sheer power that he brings on, his ball carrying ability, and of course him being also very good in defense is something that will really help Uganda. Uganda was really second in the collisions when it came to their matchup against Zimbabwe, but with Elifaze Mong we have an added advantage when it comes to physicality, when it comes to the contest, and when it comes to defense.
Yeah, and a good play there, the ruck there between Timothy Kisiga and Santos Senteza, who keeps his place. As Lalu said, one of the most consistent players in Ugandan rugby, Santos Senteza, shot number 1. The fact that ever since he made his ball with the national team, he's been a mainstay.
Yeah, definitely one of those. Of course, very much confidence that has been put in the front rowers, of course, with Suman Mugero on the other side and Santos Senteza. Coach Fred Mudola trusts them with all of his life. Of course, as you could see, against Zimbabwe, they played 80 minutes. Interesting to see how they'll play this time round. But yeah, those are very dependable customers when it comes to the black, yellow, and red.
And of course, the mascots have not left it to anyone. They're right here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium to add their support to the national team, the Rugby Cranes, as Senegal, rather Burkina Faso, secure their first line out here following that attempted pass from Joseph Aredo, but then they lose it, and then there was a knock on there by Farajo Dugo.
Farajo Dugo, you'd think that he would gather that so comfortably without a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
But he knocks on. That was a gift, ideally, from the Burkina Faso hooker, but unfortunately now we're in the defensive scrum and see if we can make that turnover as Uganda. But Burkina Faso, interestingly, employing a quick or a blitz defense, rushing onto the Ugandans and not allowing them to have a lot of time on the ball, aware of the danger men, especially Timothy Kisiga and Philip Wokorach, and they will not be giving them any time to breathe.
Well, that was a good opportunity that you feel that Uganda has lost there through Farajo Dugo's knock-on, but now you can see Burkina Faso breaking the lines, and that is shot number 12, the captain, Deme Adama, picks up his teammate there, that is Zebanga Jean. Burkina Faso doing a good job breaking into enemy territory here, as we can see Milogo Morris, the one player that has got a try for Burkina Faso, at least in the game against Namibia. But then the whistle goes here as there was an infringement, and it is a ball to Burkina Faso as Uganda tries to apply pressure on them with that rush defense. So will it be a penalty to Burkina Faso?
Yeah, you have to see what the referee is calling.
Well, it seemed like it was a penalty. They are judging Alex Saturinda for having...
yeah, that's a knock-on by one of the Uganda people. Advantage to Burkina Faso. They get the first visit into the Uganda half. Perhaps an opportunity for them to maybe get some early points.
Of course, it would be a very good relief for Burkina Faso. The fact that in the early exchanges, they were largely on the back foot, with Uganda all over them. Now they've got a bit of a break themselves.
Interesting color. Who needs a shot when you can have some good paint?
Well, you've got to commend these guys for the passion that they show each time that the national team is in action. Just tells you how passionate they are. Senegal doing a good job here. Rather, Burkina Faso, I beg your pardon. But Bognomo picks it up, and then good tackle there coming in from Philip Wokorach, the man of the match in the game against Zimbabwe for the Rugby Cranes. And then again, very good ball carry there from Milogo Morris. Burkina Faso keep coming. Shot number 12 now is Deme Adama. Burkina Faso breaking into that 22-yard area of Uganda, and a good pass there, and that should be an opportunity for the first try of the game. And you think that shot number 13 should be able to scrape over the line, and finally that is a try for Burkina Faso. Unexpected it was, but all that counts is what has been done. And Burkina Faso gets their tails up with the first try of the game. Very easy it was, as there was an overload on one side, and then they found
to have that beautiful chicken wing offload and the score in the corner. This has been but the offload
got an opportunity to add the extras. That would be Bationo Bognomo. The attempt, or no, that was not good enough. Actually, it was Karembiri Gafo, I beg your pardon, man with that tint. Shot number 15.
Interestingly,
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso has not played any East African opposition in 15s before. And they have also, of course, Uganda being part of the East African nations, they haven't played them. However, Uganda's advantage against West Africans is a 5-4 record. And they have 4 losses that have come to Cameroon, Ivory Coast twice, and Senegal. So Burkina Faso is not one of them, and this is their first ever meeting in a test rugby game in 15s. And Burkina Faso scores the first try.
Burkina Faso lost to Namibia on match day 1, 38-5. But they actually gave Namibia some real trouble. Good play there by Uganda, and it's now Joseph Aredo trying to gain territory here with a very good ball carry there. But then securing the ruck there was a knock-on by Team Uganda. Good pressure defense coming in from Burkina Faso. Shot number 4, Milogo Morris, the lock, putting pressure on Uganda as they failed to secure the ruck.
Yeah, definitely not having proper protection of the ruck. That is something even in match day 1 that we talked about from Uganda, not being able to protect their ball, especially when they go into the red zone or the half of the opposition. Interestingly, what one can note is that Uganda from match day 1 did not have possession in the 22-meter area of Zimbabwe. And that is something that was quite a concern. And yet again, they have not yet visited Burkina Faso's half, which means there's something that they need to address when it comes to territory and their attack play. And yeah, a lot needs to change there. Uganda yet again conceding early in 2 straight match days.
Yeah, very interesting. But like you pointed out, even during match day 1, that Uganda tend to be slow starters. You felt that from the way they started this one, they were all over Burkina Faso, but in conceding at the point they did, that was a bit of a surprise because they really started well.
Yeah, definitely. Luckily, now they have entered the 22-meter area of Burkina Faso. Perhaps fortunes will change. And also one thing to notice with Burkina Faso's try, they finally break the duck because Uganda and Burkina Faso were the only teams from match day 1 that did not score a try in the first half or any points in the first half. And at least Burkina Faso has broken that duck. Can Uganda break the same?
Well, there's a penalty to Uganda here. Will they go for the pause, or are they going to...
Interesting to see what the leadership
group... I think they're going for pause there.
Take the easy points. Hopefully they're as easy as it sounds from the commentary booth.
And Philip Wokorach will take responsibility. Scored 15 points for Team Uganda in that 22-20 defeat that they suffered at the hands of Zimbabwe. He's got the responsibility to try and cut the deficit that Burkina Faso has created here of 5-2. And I guess just to get the confidence on, you just need to score that penalty.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to get something on the scoreboard and get it ticking. I mean, it's very early, just 10 minutes into the game. Nothing really to worry Uganda so much. Once they get that, they need to just come back and then add some extra points. That's all they need to do. Keep the scoreboard ticking and make sure that they work on their defense.
Yes, and that is a penalty good by Philip Wokorach. Texas tally, personal tally to 18 points. But that's the first points for Uganda. It's now 3 points to Uganda after 11 minutes of play, and that will boost their confidence.
Yeah, definitely it will. Of course, after that Navi start there, after the pressure from Burkina Faso, this perhaps gives them a little bit of calm as they go for another restart. But look at the dexterity in that. And interesting to note, Philip Wokorach has bandaged his right thigh, perhaps from some of the hits from the match day 1 game against Zimbabwe. But good to see him on the pitch.
That was a very good pick there by Elfazo Mong of Uganda, as the Burkinabe boys were running into him, but he secured the ball quite well as Asman Mugera picks it up. Uganda secured the ruck. Conrad Wanyama had a good game against Zimbabwe. Finds his club teammate, the captain, that is Ivan Magom. Is there a turnover? Oh, actually, and signal shows that there's a penalty to Uganda.
Yeah, penalty there at the ruck, not supporting body weight while going for the turnover. That's you could say it was a gamble by Ivan Magomu to, instead of kicking for territory, he chose to stay and decide to run the ball, and luckily enough he gets the reward. Now Philip Wokorach has the opportunity to get some touch. He's not one that likes to go for the short touch, and he likes to go for distance, and he does so as Uganda get meters, of course, ahead. Eliphaz Emong there will be very, very key and instrumental in Uganda's attack, especially.
Yeah, on the line out, and it's well secured by Odongo, Charles Uhuru, Ivan Magom, Alex Saturinda, his club teammate at Pirates. They secure the ruck. Uganda now with some bit of intensity here, and they find another Pirates player, that's Sidney Gongodio. Philip Wokorach finds Uhuru, Charles. Doing great stuff here. Elfaze Mong goes down.
Tackler not rolling away, advantage to Uganda. They have a free ball to play.
And then breaking the lines is Alex Saturinda.
Hard runner.
Yeah, very good ball carrier he is. And now it's Joseph Aredo. The dummy there finds Shakim Sembusi, tackled, goes down as Burkina Faso try to force the turnover here. And then Elfaze Mong breaks the lines for Team Uganda. Good ball carrier, plays the ball behind, but can it be secured by Uganda? They can't, as Burkina Faso seem to do the job right, but then the referee calls play back for an earlier infringement.
I think there is a player that, oh, this is a very, very scary moment, and you can see the player's head is being steadied, but that is the impact that Eliphaz Mong comes with. Big man, and those are two players trying to tackle one man, and you can see he put his head in the wrong place, and perhaps a little bit concussed. The doctors trying to make sure
Look at that.
Yeah, but the weight, the sheer weight, and then you see the whiplash of hitting his head on the ground. Oh, we hope that the Burkina Faso player is fine. Yet to confirm who he is, but
must have been shot number 7, Bertrand Alexis.
yeah,
Burkina Faso, the flanker.
By the looks of it, I don't think he can be able to continue. I don't even think he can be able to pass the head injury assessment. But that is what Eliphaz Mong brings. The fact that he can break the line with his sheer pace and weight.
Power. And you feel that he was missed in that game against Zimbabwe?
Heavily missed. I mean, it was a game of contests and collisions, and we were second in those collisions, as you can see, signaling the ambulance to come. This is
A real scary moment.
Yeah, but credit, of course, to the medical team. The beauty about sport and about rugby is that regardless of what medical camp you're in or from which country, when a player is down, you go on the pitch and offer your assistance, and that is great to see.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Alexis Bertrand is about to get back onto his feet. But the interesting thing about Team Uganda this afternoon is the changes that there are players that have not even made the final 23.
Yeah.
Of course, Moses Ziwa, the youngster, looking at Julius Omoding, also another youngster, as well as Jones Kamiza.
Yeah, Jones
Isn't
Kamiza.
that quite interesting?
Jones Kamiza having a bit of a discomfort in his neck, and the coach is choosing not to risk him for this one. He was in a lot of collisions in the first game, which was his debut. And of course, with Julius Opio, I think it's just a tactical decision, choosing to go for a little more experience with, of course, Robert Aziku and on the bench, and having, of course, Charles Uhuru and Eliphaz Emong as the starting second row.
This is the replay there where we just saw.
But again, that loose offload, you feel that perhaps Eliphaz Emong should have kept the ball. These big men are very good runners sometimes, but not the best of offloaders. So it's sometimes better for them to keep the ball. But luckily enough, it was advantage still, and Uganda get the penalty. It's going to be interesting to see what they do a bit farther away from the posts. So do they go for the points or do they go for touch? I'm sure the leaders in the Uganda team are having that discussion right now, of course, as we are hoping for a steady and quick recovery for the Burkina Faso player.
Penalty decision for Uganda. Like Ruben just pointed it out, the discussion will be on whether they scratch and go or they actually take the kick. As the medics continue to do their thing to try and put the injured Burkina Faso player Bertrand Alexis, shot number 7, in a more comfortable situation here, following that collision with Uganda's Eliphaz Emong, shot number 5.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Uganda, it's still early in the game, so Uganda has the luxury of kicking for touch and going for the line out, getting some more meters inside Burkina Faso's half, going for the line out, and if they can win their line out, it gives them a very good attacking platform. Yes, the penalty would be the easier option to go for, because even if they miss, they kick back to them. But however, sometimes you have to go for the big risk, especially with momentum looking to be in Uganda's favor at the moment.
So just take us a little bit back, Ruben. The reason why the penalty is awarded is because the Burkina Faso players, one of them is offside or something of that kind?
Yes, there was an offside, and of course Uganda got to play their advantage. Instead of waiting to just take the penalty, you get a free shot to play, and then until the referee deems that advantage has been gained by the attacking team, then they have an opportunity to come back. And in the referee's opinion, he believed that that advantage was not gained, so they had to come back to the position where the penalty was awarded from, or where the offside was, and it gives Uganda another opportunity.
Some real minutes have been eaten up here as the referee continues to look at his watch as well.
That's very serious. I think even when the player went down, even the Ugandans were already indicating to the medical or the people on the touchline that rush onto the pitch, and then the first medical doctor that came on had to rush and steady the head. The first thing in such situations with head injuries and perhaps also neck injuries is making sure that there is no movement with that part of the body, and that is particularly what happened. And now what they're trying to do is make sure that they're steadying him before they lift him and move him. But
a replay of the first try made by Team Burkina Faso here. As you can see, the ball being picked up there by shot number 13, Zebango Jean, before that
but as you can see, Shakim Sembusi
there to try and where he found his teammate Yameoko Antoine, who finished off.
Shakim Sembusi gets caught out in a defensive cover. That means the numbers are not enough on this side.
Exactly.
Now when the ball goes out, there's a free man, and Conrad Wanyama has to rush, but
couldn't cover the space. And
I think in the Zimbabwe game as well, Uganda had many scenarios where it was a 2-on-1. As we see, the The player getting, of course, a standing
Alexis
ovation.
Bertrand being taken off.
Getting a standing ovation. This is team manager Uganda. And they are, at the end of the day, it's sport. At the end of the day, it's all about the players and the global game.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, sportsmanship. And we hope that he can recover quick to come back and play the game he loves. Conrad Wanyama as well there. A huge competitor, but he knows when it's time to offer his sympathies.
Yeah. Of course, this is a real setback for Burkina Faso because they're forced into an early change.
Yeah, I mean, 13 minutes in and you have to change your open side flanker. It's not something that the coach would have planned.
They would definitely have to get on somebody. And as we wait for confirmation on who comes in for Bertrand Alexis, you can see on the far side quite a number of Burkina Faso players warming up already. So
Bertrand Alexis, 21 is on Spans Abdul.
Banse Abdul has been introduced, shot 21
Yeah,
for
just as
Burkina Faso.
Just as we mentioned, Uganda chose to go for the line out.
That was a good pick there by Byron Oketayot. As the rack is secured there, Conrad Wanyama gets Santos. Centers are just bulldozing his way through the defense line of this Burkina Faso side. Secures the ball. As Uganda continue to get closer now, Elfazemong knocks 1-2 out of his way. As Uganda continue to come close, and now the captain fighting for the space there. And he finds club teammate Timothy Kisiga there. Uganda trying to get the gap. Asuman Mugerwa. A tight-head prop. Elfazemong pushing 2-3 out of his way to try and get Uganda closer to the try line. As the ball is secured there, Gongodio coming into support. Centers as Santos just can't be stopped there. Still has the ball. As he releases it there. Again, Uganda with those pile drives in.
Patient play there by Uganda, just trying to suck in the defense before they can release their outside backs. But for now, just trying to get as much ball as they can. Ivan Magomu going now to the outside backs, but the defense covers very well. And the turnover is good. Great patience by Burkina Faso and great contest at the rack, and it's a turnover penalty, holding on the man that was carrying the ball.
Did not release.
Yeah, did not release.
That is Innocent Thomas Gokto, shot number 13 for Team Uganda.
As you can see, the first man tackles him in, is isolated, and then the jackler comes in, and you can see he's holding on to the ball. And Ivan Magomu was not happy with something there. You can see him shouting at one of the other teammates, but he was also led to the rack there.
And you can see what it means to Conrad Wanyama. They're just not happy about a good phase of play that has not realized any major fruit.
Yeah, and you see, that is when you get a penalty, sometimes as you're taking the chance to go for the line out, that is the risk that you take, that if you don't go for the easy points, then once you gamble and you don't get something, then you come back to your half still with 3 points.
The line out for Burkina Faso is good. As now they try to make some inroads into the Ugandan territory here. Vugnat Flavien picks it up, and then the substitute with the ball now, Banse Abdul. Just came on a short while ago. And now it is Bationo Bognomo again. Burkina Faso showing that they mean business too. You can see how competitive they are. Now the ball is with Sawadogo. Just look at how he's lifted up by Aredo. Continue to pile up some pressure, Milogo. Now it's Bognomo, but then it's a penalty to Burkina Faso.
Yeah, I think that's a case of offside.
Burkina Faso coming again now, breaking the lines. It's shot number 13, Zebango. They secure the rack here. Bognomo again, shot number 6, Dao Omar. Goes in strong, but not about to get any further than to the liking of the Ugandan defense area. But Burkina Faso will keep coming. They've got strength in numbers as well. They've got the size as well. Good tackle there coming in from Alex Aturinda to stop the Zimbabwean. But then there's a Ugandan player on the ground. That's Eliphaz Emong.
He was trying to duck and not consider penalty for interfering with the ball movement of the Burkina Faso team. That was great awareness from him. Otherwise, it would have been an easy points given away from a penalty that could have been avoided. But still, there's a grabber kick that is put through by Burkina Faso, and they get to push Uganda back into their 22-meter area. It's still a Uganda line out, but it is pressure nonetheless inside the Uganda 22.
Charles Uhuru does a good job now. It's an opportunity for the Maul, the Ugandan Maul, to push Burkina Faso back, and it's doing its job quite well. Get the ball out, Wanyama, and now it's Byron Oketayot for Uganda, and Conrad Wanyama trying that box kick, but then it's well stopped by Burkina Faso as they turn over the ball. Shot 10, Burkina Faso, Deme Pasi. Now they're breaking the lines here, and let's go through shot number 15 of Burkina Faso, but then he's forced into a knock-on. And now Philip Wokorach loses the ball.
Yeah, knock-on advantage gained there, luckily, but for some reason Uganda is not setting up well to exit their own half, which is quite a mystery. You'd think with what happened on match day 1 that this is something they could have perhaps rectified. However, they put themselves on unnecessary pressure, and Burkina Faso, if it wasn't for the wingers, a bit of slippery hands, I should say, where he dropped the ball. They had good momentum, they were carrying well. The one thing Burkina Faso has done is really be intense in the pressure that they are exerting on Uganda. So Uganda is not really getting comfortable ball, as you could see even from the block of Wanyama's box kick. Everything that Uganda has to do, they have to work for it so hard, and Burkina Faso has been very good in that regard, especially without ball. How they have played has been amazing so far.
Yeah, not many people would probably have given them a chance, but they continue to prove, that is Burkina Faso, how much they have improved as a team over the last 2 years. Remember, in this similar competition down in France, they lost 71-5 to Namibia, the eventual champions. Now Conrad Wanyama with the kick out for territory. Bounces out, and it's going to be a line out for team Burkina Faso. Yeah,
good touch finder by Conrad Wanyama there.
Is that the let out that you feel that they need to employ more than what Philip Wokorach tried to do?
Yeah, at the end of the day, rugby is a game of territory, especially 15s rugby, and you need to play away from your half so that you avoid putting yourself on unnecessary pressure, perhaps making mistakes that can cost you a penalty or a try. So you'd rather kick the ball and you defend from your opposition's half than play in your own half and have to deal with all that pressure, as the referee wants space in that tunnel between the two teams.
And the line out is messed up here by Burkina Faso as Faraji Odugo picks it up for Team Uganda. Conrad Wanyama, advantage Uganda, trying to find the gap and still keep the ball, and that is good play by the captain Ivan Magomo. And now Sembusi breaking the lines, gets close, and it's over the line with a try count, and supposedly so. That was brilliant play by Shakim Sembusi. Brilliant finish.
Yes, that is amazing by Shakim Sembusi, the youngster from the Walukuma Barbarians. Just running and making sure that he has the power to go through 2 tackles. Then when he fell down, the awareness to stretch and score that try. But it was interesting to note, of course, the cleanup by Ivan Magomu off that replay. I mean, you just look, he had lost it a little bit there, gathered to the second, and the quick offload. Joseph Paredo as well, then Innocent Gokto, patient play. You can see Shakim Sembusi choosing to go carry. His tackle goes down, but he stretches and scores.
Brilliant play by Shakim Sembusi, but most importantly, that was smart from the captain Ivan Magomu. And of course, Joseph Aredo, another very intelligent player. And I just like the dummy that Shakim Sembusi dropped there as the there was the thinking that maybe he was going to offload to find this man, Philip Wokorach, when instead he just went between the lines, went between the double marking and just made the try. And it's now a conversion opportunity here. And yes, it is good by Philip Wokorach. That is 7 points added to the 3. That's 10 to Uganda, 5 Burkina Faso.
Yeah, one of the more dependable kickers in this tournament, especially. And you can see what he brings to the table. But yeah, just really adding another one there, very, very key. And that really puts Uganda in the lead. Not comfortable, but at least it's a good start from a shaky series of play, I should say, where Burkina Faso scored a try. Uganda now find themselves in the lead, but the job is not yet done.
Yeah, of course, still early days. 10-5 is the score. It's just one try that separates the two sides. But Uganda will be pleased by the way they've been able to fight back. As Elfaz Mong and Alex Saturinda stop the Burkina Faso flow here. Uganda secure the ruck. Conrad Wanyama, and he finds Philip Wokorach. Stopped in his tracks here. There's penalty to Uganda.
Yeah, penalty to Uganda there. Tackler not rolling away. And Philip Wokorach gets another opportunity to get one of his big touch finders for an opportunity inside Burkina Faso's half. You can see the sheer power, the thump on that ball. And inside Burkina Faso's half there. Another attacking platform, another attacking opportunity. Better display from Uganda.
Yeah, and of course it will be important to see how they execute on the line out, as Faraji Odugo takes the responsibility as usual, and then the line out, but well stolen there by Burkina Faso. That was not the best line out for Team Uganda.
Yeah, definitely. When you get such chances, you're supposed to utilize them. Faraji Odugo not connecting with his jumper, but the counter ruck seems to be both teams trying to really contest for that one, and the referee is here for it, but Uganda wins that counter ruck, and very good recovery despite almost having lost the ball.
Just look at the job being done there by shot number 1, Santos Centers, and then the pass there, the touch finder. Can it get into touch here for Team Uganda? No, it's stopped there by Burkina Faso. Shot number 15, Karembiri Gafo.
Quick start there by Uganda.
Uru is brought down. Then he's got the support to secure the ruck. Redo finds Ivan Magomo. Redo there. That looks like there was an offside.
Yeah, there was a knock-on for Uganda, but luckily enough, there was offside by Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso not really being back foot when it comes to defense, but you can see Conrad Wanyama is pointing that they should go for poles, get the easy points. The forwards look a little excited. They want to play. They want the ball to be kicked perhaps for the line out so that they can get some work done.
Well, what would you do in that situation? Go for pause or just play for touch and try and push Burkina Faso back in the mall?
I think it's important to respect the opponent. Burkina Faso has already shown that they are quite a stubborn side. So what you try to do first is stretch that scoreboard tally so that you can break their spirits. And then from there you can now decide to play the way you want to play. But for now, the score is still 5 points, so you get the extra one. Try to make it beyond a 2 score margin for you to now be comfortable and express yourself. Burkina Faso as well be well aware that they don't want the score to grow, so they'll want to see how they can get this ball back, go back into Uganda's half and get their own points.
Well, it seems like the forwards have won the day, so they've gone for touch.
Interestingly.
Yeah, so you can see there Masuman Mugerwa there shot 3, as well as Faraji Odugo shot 2, and Sydney Gongodio shot 6. And of course, Alex Saturinda shot 8, Elifaz Mong 5, and Uhuru all prepared to give Burkina Faso a real push here. better still a real run for their money. As it is going to be scrummage here. Wanyama feeds it in. That's the push that they were looking for.
Big scrum there.
And that's Alex Saturina gets close, but then just couldn't find the space there. As gets the support of club teammate Conrad Wanyama as the ruck is secured. Now it's Ivan Magomu. The far side find Uhuru, who is a very good and diligent ball carrier. Uganda still smelling blood here. Conrad Wanyama asking his teammates to take position. Byron Oketayot gains a few feet inside, and there is a knock on there, but play goes on. Sydney Gongodio. There seem to be screams coming in from the touchline. The coaches calling for help. Knock on by Burkina Faso.
Yeah, no advantage there. Uganda had made a mess of their ruck, and the ball was out of the protected area.
Yeah.
Burkina Faso had turned it over, but they knocked on. So it's a lot of things going on there. But interestingly,
it's an events game here.
Prior to that, Alex Saturinda had picked the ball, thinking he's close to the try line, but it was the 5-meter mark that he scored at. In case you saw, he quickly picked the ball and he dived, thinking he had reached the try line, but he had not. It was quite an interesting moment.
Yeah. In fact, I was actually surprised why he was diving in so soon. Then
Uganda needs to make all this pressure count with points on the board.
They need to push back Burkina Faso. They continue to push and get closer, and then
advantage
they
play.
Philip Walker. That's another try for Team Uganda. That was brilliant play. Right at the point where you feel they needed to stretch that gap and put more pressure on Burkina Faso. They get those 5 extras. Philip Walker adds the 5. It's now 15 Uganda, 5 to Burkina Faso.
Yeah, definitely. Timothy Kisiga was on his outside, but there was no way Philip Okorach was passing from such a close range. Of course, Uganda was playing advantage. Philip with a good step, choosing to go for the stool, and then...
I was quick.
Just, of course, his height helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
When he's tackled and he's tackled forward or backwards in that regard, he's able to stretch and score. Uganda scoring yet another try that gives them a bit of breathing space between themselves and Burkina Faso.
Can he get the extras to take Uganda's tally to 17? Well, I'm sure that for the Ugandan fan, that will be the prayer. He's had quite an exceptional boot in this tournament. Let's see, and does he quite do it? No, he doesn't.
Just goes across the face of the goalposts.
But he came close.
Yeah.
That was pretty close, and it remains 15-5, 10-point game. And Uganda will be happy for the kind of application that they have shown here.
Yeah, the man that has just signed with Rugby Club Olin in France after spending 3 years at ASBC Rugby, still in France. One of Uganda's professional rugby players, many on the semi-pro level, but him being a fully professional rugby player.
That was not the best of receptions for Elfaz Emong as he tried to pick that ball from mid-air. That was a knock-on instead that gave Burkina Faso an opportunity to get into Ugandan territory as they continued. Oh, now there is a penalty to Uganda there.
Yeah, turnover good there. Tackler, man carrying the ball, not releasing. And Uganda, good reaction there. But it's amazing to see the rugby that Burkina Faso plays. I mean, the team that has just joined World Rugby in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have been playing rugby for some time, but joining World Rugby was in 2020. and fully being part of World Rugby competitions. But to see the kind of rugby they are playing right now is so amazing to see. I mean, they're now in the top tier of Rugby Africa. Being able to compete at this stage is something that is so amazing.
It's actually in 4 years, so you've got to commend them.
Yeah, testament to the work that's going, of course, behind the scenes and everything that they are doing to be able to put these players on the pitch to perform at this stage. And they are giving Uganda a run for their money, of course, with all the heritage that Uganda has. Of course, Uganda winning the Confederation of Africa Rugby in 2007, led by, of course, Captain Adrian Bukenya and the likes of Fred and Timothy Mudola,
who are the coaches of this Ugandan side. Alex Aturinda gets that big knock on him, and the ball is turned over by Burkina Faso's Milogo there, shot number 4. Just look at how he's stamping his way past his opponents here. And he will not release, but Elfazemong will not have that been done on his watch. And there comes Burkina Faso, but no headway made there. Just can't find a way past a very tight Ugandan defense there, as Bongomo finds shot number 13 who breaks the lines here, and that is the Burkina Faso Karembiri Gafo, but he's tackled this time. And he's stopped by Joseph Aredo. Rather, Burkina Faso come again. It's tighted, but Propi was stopped there. Kampaore Bubaka, and Uganda turn over the ball. And now kicking with his left boot. Philip Okorach finds touch. This will be a line out for Burkina Faso, with a couple minutes left in this first half. We had quite a momentary lapse here in the first half following that injury suffered by Burkina Faso's Bertrand Alexis. So you get a feeling that there will be that time that was spent with the medics working on him while on the field would definitely have to be compensated. So this half will possibly go on a little longer than what had been initially planned. Yeah, definitely. And the beauty with rugby is that they have the stop clock. So in such situations, the clock is stopped until the referee calls for the resumption. But yeah, it's been an interesting game. And yeah, of course, with 33 minutes played so far, Uganda having 2 tries, Burkina Faso having one conversion to Uganda, 1 penalty to Uganda, and of course scrum feeds. There have been 3 out of 3 successes for Uganda, 3 out of 3 successes for Burkina Faso, and then 4 out of 5 line-outs won by the team that throws the line-out for Uganda, then 1 out of 3 for Burkina Faso, 35 out of 37 attacking rucks won for Uganda, and 26 out of 28 attacking rucks won for Burkina Faso. Interesting statistics there, as Burkina Faso's Ouedraogo Kada, the hooker, executes that line out well, but it's well picked up also by his teammate there, Vugnat Flavien. But now Burkina Faso feeling the pressure, but they've got a penalty here. I wonder whether they'll go for pause here or they will definitely just kick for... You can see it's worth a consideration, and they have gone for it. It's important for them to make sure that the scoreboard is still close. They don't need to let that score go too far for them that it is a bit demoralizing. Yes, yeah. Unassailable, definitely. And of course, I think shot number 10 is going to get the responsibility. They wait for Burkina Faso, who have got an opportunity to take a penalty. It's actually shot number 15. Karembiri Gafo, as he takes his steps, gets himself into position before he can let fly here. But can he split those poles is the question. And he just cannot do that, as that's a wayward kick that's picked up by Uganda. Joseph Aredo. Yeah, diving into the ruck there, penalty. Burkina Faso have another opportunity. This time they choose to tap and go with a quick start. And I thought that penalty was possibly in even a better position for them to try and go for pause as they try to break the lines here. Burkina Faso again showing real intent. But then there is a penalty again.
And the yellow card coming.
So that means Asuman Mugerwa.
Interesting to find out what exactly Asuman Mugerwa did in that regard. Maybe perhaps intentionally slowing down play.
So Uganda will finish the half with just the 14 men. But can they defend this onslaught from Burkina Faso, who seem to be intent on making sure that they get those 5 points in? They want to get that try. As we can see, Kompore Bobaka, shot 3, getting the support of Milogo Maurice.
Yeah, not the best discipline there from Uganda. Burkina Faso player thought he had, as you can see, Asuman Mugerwa there. That's the second yellow card for Uganda in 2 games in this Rugby Africa Cup 2024.
The first one was Julius Omodi.
Yeah, Julius Opio.
Opio, rather.
Yeah, the youngster who's not part of the team today.
And you can see.
And also the penalty count that is held up, and it's going to be a goal line dropout. Good defense there by Uganda, but the penalty count and the discipline is a bit wanting. It's something that they have to work on. Someone on the ground there, yet to confirm who that is, but Uganda survive another Burkina Faso onslaught.
Yeah, that was good defending by Team Uganda. Otherwise, if they had not stood their ground firmly, then it would now be reading 10-15 and possibly 12-15.
Yeah, and I think the thing about Burkina Faso, when they reach the red zone, they make sure that they attack fast. They don't allow the defense to rest with constant pick and drives or just the scrum of being really, really fast from one pod to the other. But they have made sure that this time round they attack, but Uganda had the remedy for their strategy.
Now just look at that run being made there by the man Gafour, and he finds his mate here. Can he be stopped? Well, it's well defended there. But then you can see Timothy Kisiga coming in time to try and stop that move by Burkina Faso. But can they stop the try? No, the try is made. And that is brilliant play by Burkina Faso right at the tail end of the first half. Shot number 9, Bationo Bognomo.
Yeah, there Uganda caught sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking the way they broke the lines. Burkina Faso was so easy.
That line break is just something that caught everyone by surprise. And then the long pass, and then Timothy Kisiga, a bit cynically, I even thought he would get a yellow card for it as well, with the obstruction of that offload. But the penalty, quick start yet again. As we talked about, Burkina Faso, when they come into the red zone, they choose to attack fast. They don't allow the defense to set. And it was a score in the corner, of course, by the scrum half. And it's going to be a try there for Burkina Faso with a conversion to come.
Yeah, of course, conversion opportunity now falls to the boot of Karembiri Gafo. He missed a penalty a short while ago. Can he convert this time? Ball not in the best of angles, to be honest.
And that's the hooter for halftime.
And he misses that one again. And he'll definitely need to work his magic better as the first half comes to an interesting end with Burkina Faso getting a late try and closing the gap on Uganda to just 5 points. So we have a very interesting second half to look forward to, and we hope that you're enjoying our live broadcast here, courtesy of NBS Sport and Kawowo Sport. We'll take a break with Uganda leading Burkina Faso in this placement game, second game of the day, with Uganda leading 15-10 here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium, Namboole, in the Africa 15s Rugby Cup.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but To taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold. Of elegance. Consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards, a beer unmatched in gold.
Uganda's advantage against East Africa, against West Africans is a 5-4 record. And they have 4 losses that have come to Cameroon. I prefer the scoreboard quickly and make sure that they work with their defense.
Yes, sir, that is a penalty good by Philip Mokorach. Texas Dali, pass on the penalty for 18 points. That's the first point for Uganda. It's now 2 points for Uganda. After 11 minutes of play, and that will push them forward.
Look at the dexterity in that. And interesting to note, Philip Wokorach has bandaged his right thigh.
They won't break the line for Team Uganda. Good ball carrier. Plays the ball behind, but can he be secured by Uganda? They can't. And Burkina Faso seems to do the job right, but then they always play back.
Doctors trying to make sure that but the weight, the sheer weight, and then you see the whiplash of hitting his head on the ground. Oh, we hope that the Burkina Faso player
Find the gap. Still keep the ball, and that is good through by the captain Ivan Magomo. And now Sembusi breaking the line. Gets close and it's over the line with a strike out, and supposedly so. That was brilliant play by Shakib Sembusi. Brilliant finish.
And making sure that he has the power to go through 2 tackles. Then when he fell down, the awareness to stretch and score that try. But it was interesting to note, of course, the cleanup by Ivan Magomu. After quickly, I mean, he just looked, he had lost it a little bit there. Gathered to the second and the quick offload. Joseph Paredo as well, then he doesn't go through patient play. You can see Shakib Sembusi choosing to go carry. His tackle goes down, but he created and scores.
Brilliant play by Shakib Sembusi. By Philip Wokorach. That is 7 points added to the 3. That's 10 to Uganda, 5 Burkina Faso.
One of the more dependable kickers in this tournament, especially. And you can see what it brings to the table. Yeah, just really adding another one there, very, very key. And that really puts Uganda in the lead. Not comfortable, but at least it's a good start for the shaky.
That's another try for Team Uganda. That was brilliant play. Right at the point where you feel they needed to stretch that gap and put more pressure on Burkina Faso. They get those 5 extras. Philip Wokorach adds the 5. It's now 15 Uganda, 5 to Burkina Faso.
Yeah, definitely. Timothy Kisiga was on his outside, but there was no way Philip Wokorach was passing with such a close range. Of course, Uganda was playing advantage. Philip with a full step, choosing to go for his 2. Then just got his height. Yeah, exactly. When he stepped forward and he stepped forward, backwards, that guy able to straighten.
Welcome back to the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Namboole, and it is all to play for here. Uganda against Burkina Faso at the break. Uganda leading 15-10, 5-point game. And as we bring you the Africa 15s Rugby Cup, very important 40 minutes for the 2 sides. For Uganda, definitely an opportunity to make the final placement game to fight for 5th slot, while for Burkina Faso they will be thinking likewise. John Vianney Simbe calling this game, and alongside me is Ruben Kihumuro. Well, Ruben, seeing that what we just saw in the first half, very close game, you don't expect it to be any different. It's going to be very important the way the two teams start, especially in those moments of the line-outs.
Yeah, definitely. With another 40 minutes coming, of course, both teams are knowing that they can go for it, set each other, and they know that we got what it takes depending on what side you're on. And it's going to be interesting to see who can be able to have the composure and who can have the less mistakes. Ideally, that is what it will go down to. Who has the nerve to go all the way?
And of course, Uganda already forcing Burkina Faso into a mistake as they turn over the ball, and it's going to be a penalty to Uganda as Philip Wokorach just picks it up. As he's got in a shockhold, but he releases to Shakim Sembusi. That was intelligent play. And now the big man there, Elifaze Mong, gets a few knocks. Now, Shakim Sembusi.
Uganda losing so many meters in that carry. They have not gained ground.
Yeah, as they get the ball back into much or less their own territory. Conrad Wanyama finds Byron Oketayot. Done well as on that forward line. It's the second half now would be another one where he would definitely be.
Yeah, taking a lot of time with ball. Conrad Wanyama, not sure what he wanted to do. The Ugandans looking like they did not have a plan in that particular one. As you could even see, Ivan Magom was just getting off the ground. But there are no set structures and pods in that particular instance. And the referee deems the time that the ball was supposed to be in the rack to have expired.
Yeah, and so he got a sense that Uganda are trying to slow down the play.
Yeah,
deliberately.
Yeah, with the new laws, of course, you're supposed to have, it should be about 4 seconds for that ball to be able to leave the base. But Conrad Wanyama kept spectating, and he got punished for it. A very careless turnover to give away. As we saw Elifaze Mong on the ground, of course, that's what comes with being very, very physical in your style of rugby. Of course, you're going to find some matches here and there. He gets a bit of his own medicine, you should say. But credit to Burkina Faso, their intensity in the defense, and they are so aggressive at the breakdown as well. They have done their homework on Uganda. They did see what Zimbabwe did in the first half, especially as we're seeing Asuman Mugera still on, of course, in the sin bin.
Yeah, exactly. Uganda still playing with the 14, but then there is a change that is made as Byron Oketayot is taken off, and and of course, Saul Chivumbi is also brought in as a temporary
substitution there.
Substitution, the tight head, because Uganda were missing that player on that front row. So they take off another player. We'll get a confirmation on who has been given a momentary rest here to try and allow Saul Chivumbi to come in place of Asuman Mugera.
I think that
at least for
be,
the remaining minutes of his
Byron,
penalty.
that should be Byron Oketayot.
Actually, no, Robert Aziku came on for Byron Oketayot.
Remember, there was Elifaze Mong who has also gone off.
Okay.
So that Robert Aziku, I think, has come on for Elifaze Mong.
Yeah.
And then Byron Oketayot just temporarily off as you need to fix the front row.
And there's a turnover here of the ball, and now it's advantage team Uganda as they go into the scrummage. Burkina Faso also caught napping here as they lose the advantage that they had gained in that scrummage. And the medical teams seem to be rushing onto the field to attend to someone.
Yeah, definitely. And a much-needed breather for both teams, maybe perhaps also for them to regroup and re-strategize. You'd think that Burkina Faso's intensity has given them a slight edge, especially in the start of the second half, and also towards the end of the first half. They seem to have the more resolve. And then when you're looking, of course, it's great to see, by the way, the fans at the far end starting to trickle in as, of course, it's a midweek game. Not normally the custom when it comes to rugby in Uganda, but anything for the rugby fans, the fans will always be there, and kudos to that.
6 p.m. At 4 p.m.
Medical attention
We'll be
is given out as Prince David Wasaja is one of the spectators. A big supporter of Ugandan rugby. Prince David Wasaja right there in your picture with the tie. Seems to be a substitution being signaled here by the referee. I don't know whether it is a concussion scare for shot number 3 of Burkina Faso, because it's signaling for a substitution for Kawowo Boubacar, shot number 3 of Burkina Faso. Still not clear what the problem is, but Kawowo is being asked to get off the field.
And that was a credit, of course, to the medical staff. They're insisting. You know, sometimes these players can be very stubborn and don't want to get off. But he insisted that he needs to get off for attention, for further attention.
Scrummage for Uganda with Conrad Ranyama having the ball in hand. He fits it in. Alex Aturinda picks it up. Is it back to find Philip? There was a bit of poor handling. Innocent Gokto. The instructor just couldn't find a way past his Burkinabe defense line. He's going to continue to build. Conrad Wanyama breaks the lines, goes through the middle, makes the run for it, and he finds club teammate Timothy Kisiga, gains some real ground there as the ruck is secured. Uganda getting close. Robert Aziku, now the captain, finds that pass on the far side to find, of course, Philip Wokoraj, and inevitably,
forward pass there by Philip Wokoraj with the final one. You think he could have released that ball earlier, choosing to go for his iconic show and go, but this time round he doesn't break the line, and then when he's gathered, tries to rush the pass, and he makes a forward one. But luckily enough, they are coming back for advantage there, and we can see there is something that the referee needs to attend to. Perhaps the communication needs to be put across.
So penalty for Uganda.
Penalty for Uganda, and I think he has had enough of something that has come from Burkina Faso.
The fans coming in their numbers. It's a working day, but surprising to see that people still create the time to come and watch the Africa Rugby Cup. And I guess when Uganda is in action, inevitably you see the numbers coming in, and Joseph Aredo goes for touch, and Uganda choose to go for the line out.
Yeah, good attacking platform there. If only Faraji Odugo can be in a position to have that line out effectively thrown, it can be quite the attack for the Ugandans. They have not been particularly comfortable in this game, but this is a golden opportunity for them.
And they set up the maul very well, push back Burkina Faso. As Uganda piling more pressure on Burkina Faso.
Ivan Magomu joining the maul as well. But they do not reach the line. It's going to be a yellow card to someone. Under normal circumstances, when there is a yellow card on the maul, it's supposed to be a penalty try, but that's for collapsing the maul intentionally. So Burkina Faso are down to 14 as well. Penalty to Uganda.
Shot number 18, Burkina Faso, Tankeu Boris. But you think that Uganda will instead choose to go for a pick and drive or something like that? I don't think they'll be going for poles there.
It's interesting to see what they're going to do, because they have the option of the line out, they have the option of the scrum or the tap and go. So it depends on what strategy they bring, but this is, of course, the man in the yellow card. As we're saying, Sol Chivumbi going back after Asuman Mugera has gone back onto the pitch, meaning Uganda is back to a full complement of 15 against the 14-man Burkina Faso. They have the numerical advantage. Can they make it count? They choose to go for the scrum, especially with the fact that Burkina Faso have lost a player in the scrum.
Yeah, exactly.
So they need to make that count, especially. I expect an 8th-man pick there from Alex Aturinda, and perhaps maybe a short ball carry from one of the centers, but let's wait and see.
There's a bit of an entry that is forbidden, but then picking up is Alex Aturinda. He's held up there, but can he get that ball over the line? He releases it. And Uganda go again. Charles Uhuru.
As you can hear, forwards coach Alex Mubiru shouting that Tambuza, the ball is moving really slowly. For a team that has the numerical advantage, they should be moving that ball a lot quicker.
And now this is where Uganda will be smelling blood as they secure the ruck. Conrad Wanyama gets it to Joseph Aredo, breaks the line, releases to Conrad Wanyama, finds it, but it's a bit of a fumble there. Innocent Gwokto.
Scrappy play from Uganda, not really making the most of that advantage, looking like they ran out of ideas, and now it's going to be a penalty for them. Luckily, they were having advantage. But great defense there by Burkina Faso, as you see the fans on their feet.
Yeah, all in anticipation.
All in anticipation.
The try.
But Burkina Faso, even with 14 men, have remained disciplined in their defense. The resolve, you can see, you know, when you don't have the ball and you're defending, it really takes a lot out of you. They are tired, but they are not giving up on their resolve. They have really defended well, and they have kept Uganda out. As you see, Innocent Gwokto looking for a gap, but nothing, and no support there. Uganda really having no answers to this particular Burkina Faso question.
Yeah, now they've got to try and find a way out. Otherwise, they're at a point where they are pretty close to adding to their points tally, and how important it would be if they were able to get a try in. A bit of communication going on between the referees here. Not very sure what they are discussing here.
Match commissioner, of course, talking to the referee and just confirming some things. Gives the players a little bit of time to have a breather. A lot of pressure, and of course the heat. Weather at the moment in Uganda is quite tropical with the heat and the rains. So it depends on what serving you want on a particular day. Today it's the heat.
There seems to be some real serious discussions going on here, but it's not yet to get confirmation on exactly what the issue is that has led to this momentary stoppage in play. And one that has really forced the referee to get off the field to talk to the match commissioner.
I think this is when the referee mic would come in handy, but we'll soon interpret what they're trying to iron out there.
The Burkina Faso player has just walked off limping. I guess we should be seeing a substitution being made here very soon. Penalty to Uganda. I think they decided to go for the scrummage. They seem to be quite confident in the sheer power that they have, the Rugby Cranes. But like Ruben just pointed out, Burkina Faso are definitely no pushovers.
Very, very impressive. I think they have really impressed me, Burkina Faso. The way they have stayed in this game. Many thought it was a sure victory for the Ugandans, but
an easy one.
No,
not by any
it's a
stretch of the
different story.
imagination.
Although the scrum is moving hard, and this should be another penalty advantage, perhaps a penalty try. Yes, it is a penalty try. Good work there by the forwards, getting the job done. And the numerical advantage comes into play there. As you can see, some of the forwards warming up, and you see Elifaz Emong in some discomfort, and that's why he was changed, and Robert Aziku brought on. But great work by the forwards, and that is what they call a typical forwards try, and it makes, of course, the fans get on their feet. Brilliant stuff by Team Uganda.
Yeah, 7 points added to Uganda's tally, so Uganda on 22 now, since it's a penalty try. Uganda 22, Burkina Faso 10. That's what the scoreline reads like at this time Paul Kalungi is introduced at number 22 for Team Uganda, as does Michael Toh. Previously, he was a flanker. Now he's a forward, a prop, actually.
Yeah, definitely. With his time with Heathens, he was at the flank and at the lock.
Yeah.
But after joining the Kampala Old Boys, he finds himself predominantly used as a prop forward, and that is where he's plying his trade right now with Uganda. But Paul Kalungi comes on, I think, for Conrad Wanyama, and for his debut, the man that plays with the Rhinos Rugby Club, and of course that is Nathan Bwambale with ball in hand as well, of the Pirates.
Also been introduced there. Nathan Bwambale carries banners of experience, comes in at number 2 in place of Faraji Odugo, the hooker. The penalty to Team Uganda with Joseph Aredo, ball in hand, kicks it into touch for territory, and he does well there. So gets Uganda into Burkina Faso's 10.
Yeah, the first line out throw for Nathan Bwambale comes into play. Of course, Nathan Bwambale coming on for Faraji Odugo. Two different hookers in their style.
Yeah.
More mobile Faraji Odugo, more about the ball in hand and the play. And then last on match day 1, Nathan Bwambale had a better throw success rate. So let us see if he can continue with that momentum as he throws well.
Paul Kalungi finds the captain, Ivan Magomo, and Michael Toh, already making the Burkinabe boys feel his sheer grit and force. Paul Kalungi. And there's a knock-on by Team Uganda. Paul Kalungi plays his trade with the Rhinos.
Yeah, Rhinos, whose home ground is not very far
from
here. If you're on the customary Uganda border, that is about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, so it's familiar territory.
And this is definitely going to be a huge opportunity for him, making his international debut.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
A young player like he is. This is a real watershed moment for Paul Kalungi, shot number 22.
I mean, as Coach Fred Mudola of the Rugby Cranes is looking to build a team that perhaps will vie for a World Cup qualification, these are some of the players that he needs to add to the team to see if he can get a different dimension to what the Rugby Cranes can bring.
Then the kick pass coming in from Kawowo doesn't seem to go anywhere, and instead Burkina Faso will get a line out. But they seem to have lost a bit of their momentum in the second half, even as they continue to suffer injuries. Bognomo Bationo got their second try in the first half. Seems to be in some real pain here, Bognomo.
Yeah, it looks like yeah, definitely thigh. Hamstring particularly, perhaps.
That's also a very big possibility, as of course the Burkina Faso bench continues to stare with a bit of despair in their look.
Yeah, but with 12 points the gap,
yeah,
we have seen,
yeah,
if match day 1 is anything to go by, then this is not yet comfortable for the Cranes, because one more try for Burkina Faso can really turn this game around.
Absolutely. And from what they have showcased today, you would not rule them out.
Yeah, the one thing I think Burkina Faso cannot afford at the moment is another substitution due to injury, and that was the forward pass by Philip Wokorach. I felt like he should have passed the ball sooner than he did. Perhaps Shakim Sembusi would have scored earlier than that. And Conrad Wanyama, I think a bit of fatigue on his end. He got sub, but that was one of his last contributions. The feed into the scrum that really put the pile in, and then the power push and kept the ball there. Alex Aturinda, great skills to control the ball and keep it moving. And you could see once the Burkina Faso players had going up, it was going to be a penalty try, which normally comes with another yellow card. But
surprised that the referee did not award
I think the referee is trying to manage the game a lot better, not to try and dish out so many cards in the spirit of the game. But you can see it was a typical forwards try.
Yeah, that's the energy that is needed from the forwards to just get you over the line, and they did exactly that, just showing Burkina Faso who is boss here, as Uganda's forwards piled on their weight, and it just broke down the spine and the resistance of this Burkina Faso side. 22-10. The clock continues to tick here. About 20 minutes played already in this second half, and another injury suffered by Burkina Faso.
Yeah, the injury bug not being kind to Burkina Faso in this regard.
The line out not good, as Byron Oketayot gets the ball.
Yeah, ball being fed there as Ivan Magomo choosing to carry. He's being escorted outside, but he's able to keep the ball on.
And that's Otto Michael goes to ground, and there's diving in by Uganda, so penalty to Burkina Faso.
They're not supporting the body weight. There are just a few elementary mistakes that Uganda is making, basic stuff really, and it's advantage now to Burkina Faso. Another opportunity for them to perhaps get into the Uganda half. Uganda has scored, so they need to make sure that they respond. Of course, with 57 minutes on the clock, they know that they can't afford to allow Uganda the luxury of another score before they do so as well. But just look at it, Saul Chuvumbi just not holding his own weight while going into it, and the referee was right in front of him, and he gave the penalty rightly so.
Another line out here for Team Burkina Faso. Responsibility falls on the hands of Ouedraogo, and this time they still lose the ball. That's Burkina Faso, and then Timothy Kisiga kicks high for territory, and if the ball just bounces out as Burkina Faso struggle to keep it on, and Gaffo gets it, makes that kick.
Oh, he actually gets a very fortunate kick despite the pressure that he had brought onto himself. Quick start by Uganda there.
Timothy Kisiga tackled as Burkina Faso come flying in.
And yet again, the counter from Burkina Faso, and it's a quick start. It could be an opportunity for Burkina Faso to go and score a try. I mean, they have brought that reaction to all Uganda's efforts, and they're doing really, really well with that.
And they secure the rock here. Burkina Faso again coming closer as they try to build up some good play, but good steal there.
Great awareness there by Joseph Aredo to read where the offload was going to fall. And that was a worrying moment for Uganda, but it just shows you how dangerous Burkina Faso can be with ball in hand. Very, very confident, putting a little bit of worry in the faces of the Ugandans there.
Yeah, I think one thing, Ruben, that we've got to highlight is that Uganda have shown vulnerability on defense oftentimes.
Yeah, and it's been a general, I think, concern when you come to the Rugby Africa Cup this year, that even from match day 1 and match day 2, we have seen a high penalty count. The defense has been a bit leaky, and sometimes the set piece has been wanting. There's a lot that Uganda needs to work on.
Ouedraogo of Burkina Faso with the line out. They secure it quite well. Dao Omar picks it up. They secure the rock as well. Good ball sharing here by, and then they split the lines here, and that's gonna be an easy try by a team Burkina Faso's shot number 13, Zebango Jean. And you had just talked about how leaky Uganda has been defensively, and again the ghosts continue to stare in their faces about their weakness.
Yeah, definitely Uganda has not been defending well in this tournament. They don't seem like they're the team that's at home, but let's not take away the credit from Burkina Faso. They have been having their struggles at lineup, but this time round, as you can see, Paul Kalunji, really that was a size mismatch between him and Ouedraogo, number 13. Yeah. But that was a risky finish from him as well. He easily could have lost the ball, and his teammates would have had him for lunch. But look at him, just having the legs to go and coming back with what is similar to a swallow dive slam of the ball. And if they can get these extra 2 points, we still
really back in it.
Yeah, I mean, Uganda is not really making it easy for itself. But Burkina Faso as well, we have to give them the credit. They won their line out, and then they were able to patiently move the ball and find the gaps in the defense. They have really exploited those gaps whenever available. Uganda not defending well, Burkina Faso showing their attacking impetus.
15 Burkina Faso after Karembiri there. Gafo shot 15, misses the conversion. Would have brought Burkina Faso to just within 5 points of Uganda's lead, but he was not accurate enough with his kick. Remains at 22-15. Still a game that is up in the air with about 20 minutes to play.
Yeah, still definitely. As both teams fight for the 5th and 6th position. Not a very good kick there by Burkina Faso. One that could ideally undo, as we're seeing, Marco Modin coming onto the pitch, yet to know who's getting off, but
another substitution made by Team Uganda. Shot 20, Marco Modin introduced as Sydney Gongodio goes off, adding some fresh legs.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of fresh legs really is it. Yeah, maybe that could be the remedy to their defensive woes. Uganda.
Yeah, the frailties that they have shown in this game would definitely give Burkina Faso real belief, and very good pickup there again by Uhuru Charles. As Uganda maintain the maul, trying to push back Burkina Faso, but Burkina Faso also resisting the pressure coming in from Team Uganda. Kalunji. And then the very good offload there coming in now from Ivan Magom to find Marco Moding, who really makes some real good entries there. As now it's Nathan Bwambale stuck in a chokehold, but Uganda still do a good job there at the rack, trying to make sure that they keep ball as effectively as they can. That's Team Uganda.
Yeah, trying to slow down the ball, just moving it from one side to the other, getting in the phases and seeing how they can suck in the Burkina Faso defense before they can release the back line. As of course you see on the far side, number 12, Joseph Aredo, waiting for perhaps the ball when it's time for the backs to play, but the forwards right now getting every inch necessary.
And another one by Saul Chivumbi.
And they milk a penalty. It's an advantage there to Uganda.
Now Marco Moding getting closer, skipping over tackles, and it's a penalty to Team Uganda. Will they go for poles, or they're just gonna push on?
I think the best bet here will be to go for points, and you can see Philip Okorach comes to the front. He's waiting for his kicking tee. Uganda won't be taking any chances here, knowing, of course, with it being 22-15, and how stubborn Burkina Faso has been in this particular encounter. Yeah. Take the easy points and continue to stretch the tally.
And make it 25, 10-point game. Very interesting to see this particular incident, how Marco Moding had gone in and forcing Burkina Faso into that infringement that has that could any moment from now turn out to be very costly if Philip Okorach gets to execute that penalty successfully.
Yeah, Philip Okorach needs to pay attention to the winds. They are starting to come in, as you can see from the far banners, so that he needs to align the ball very well, and also the power that he uses in his strike needs to be enough. But he normally doesn't miss from such range.
And he does it again, and it's now 25 to Uganda, 15 Burkina Faso. 10-point game it is, with about 16 minutes left to play. You get a feeling, Ruben, that from that point, Uganda now are just going to be trying to keep ball, playing it safe, to make sure that they keep Burkina Faso at arm's length.
The best thing that they have to do is keep ball in hand and keep as much possession as possible. We have seen that when Burkina Faso get the ball, they are very, very frustrating, and they can attack and hurt you. So what Uganda is going to be doing is keeping the ball as much as possible, playing the territory, and when they get the penalties, try and see how many points they can milk from each opportunity they get.
Now Robert Aziku picks it up for Team Uganda. Now taking that kick there after a substitution was made by Burkina Faso. Kawowo Bobaka taken off. Now that's kick passing, but then Uganda pick it up as now Timothy Kisiga held in a chokehold as Burkina Faso tried to wrestle the ball away. And it's ball to Burkina Faso. Good pressure coming in from Burkina Faso to get Uganda back. Timothy Kisiga not happy about the lack of support from his teammates. You can see his expression there as keeps his one knee on the ground. Hope that maybe he could get the support to try and make sure that Burkina Faso did not gain the advantage.
Yeah, definitely. But it's a scrum now for Burkina Faso in the Uganda half. I mean, we have seen Burkina Faso ball in hand, and I want to say that it's not something that you can easily say you're comfortable with. And I'm sure I share the same sentiment with many of the fans out there. As an 8th man carry there, very, very big carry.
Of course, Joseph Alredo tries to turn over the ball there. Burkina Faso are unrelenting here. Shot number 22, Sawadogo Rachid. He finds his teammate who really breaks into the defense lines of Uganda as they continue to pile on the pressure. That is Banse Abdul.
Advantage there to Burkina Faso. They get the free play now. What can they do with it? They are very confident, not afraid to try out something. As you can see, Uganda trying to hold him up, but advantage not gained. It's going to be a penalty. Interesting now, decision time for Burkina Faso. What do they do? I think they look like they want to go for the scrum, in my opinion, with 13 minutes to go. So how about they first take the points? Take the points, try and close the gap again, and then try and come back.
They've chosen a scrum.
Yeah.
Instead, yet you think that if they had gone for the point, or maybe they're not really convinced by the kicking of their teammate,
but then
that is Gafo Karembiri, shot 15 because he has missed so many of his kicks in this half. Actually, he has not made any successful kick in this half, and he has had 3.
But then again, if they choose not to go for the points, then you'd think about perhaps why didn't they choose to just get some extra meters with the line out. The scrum is a bit tricky, especially since their scrum hasn't been very stable. But let us see, the end justifies the means.
The passing, but ball is picked up by Timothy Kisiga.
Yeah, Timothy Kisiga gathers very well, commonly known as Mr. Safe Hands, and he calls for mark, which allows the Ugandans to get an opportunity to exit properly. Philip Okorach looking for the spiral kick, and it does not find touch.
Instead, it's picked up by Gafo Karembiri. Still has energy and lots of speed at the same time to run at the Uganda side. Rock secured by Burkina Faso. Banse Abdul running into a blockade of very, very enthusiastic Ugandan players here. As they continue to pile on Tankeu Boris, one of the substitutes. Swinging of the ball here by Burkina Faso, and they still break the lines and make sure that they secure the ball. And now again they come Yamewonko Vincent, shot number 19, Burkina Faso.
Yeah, Burkina Faso
feel confident as they continue to
piling
hit away.
Piling on the pressure, trying to milk a penalty, especially that for offside, but unfortunately they knock on. And those are some of the instances that come from perhaps not taking the penalty. Sometimes you have to take the easy points, then you come back and then you go again. But unfortunately now it's advantage back to Uganda. Michael Cho there on the ground.
Doesn't seem to be comfortable. You could see his reaction there.
Yeah, clutching at his ankle.
Yeah.
I hope it's not something very serious. But also giving the players a chance to regroup, to re-strategize from both sides. Credit to Burkina Faso for a very, very good game they've given. As we're seeing...
Brian Wandera.
Yes, Brian Wandera of the Rams Rugby Club, located in Makerere. And waiting, as you can see, the fans are not comfortable. Having come from the sevens, yeah, where Uganda had become almost a little overconfident
Yeah.
to the 15s, where it has been nervy times from match day 1 to now match day 2. It's been an array of emotions for Uganda fans. As I was saying, Michael Toure receiving medical attention, and the team's getting a chance to get some bit of hydration in, and with 10 minutes to go, Burkina Faso knows that it is now or never for them. Uganda knows that they need to play their territory well.
Michael Toure had a bit of an injury-ravaged season. Last couple of seasons is really had to work his way back into contention at Cobb's Rugby Club because of the injuries. And it's quite good to see him turning out for the national team now as Paul Kalungi feeds the ball in, as Uganda's scrummage continues to, and it is all to Uganda's Burkina Faso were wheeling away. And the whistle again goes after Kawowo had picked up the ball quite well for Burkina Faso. As we get to the 70-minute mark, 10 minutes to go.
Yet to confirm what the referee is calling in that regard.
He brings play back.
And it's going to be a full penalty to Uganda.
It's surprising. Why?
Philip Okorach trying to look for as much ground as he can. He does so well. Just inside the Burkina Faso half.
Uganda will be glad for every set piece that they are allowed to have to try and eat up as much time as they can. It's a line out for Team Uganda. Nathan Bwambale with the ball in hand. The two teams set up for this throw-in. Charles Suhuru has done a pretty good job picking up number of balls, and now Marco Moding came on for Sydney Gongodio. Paul Kalungi. Oh, now that's a knock-on by Aziku.
Yeah, Aziku with the knock-on there after Uganda seem to have had some phases going. Now Burkina Faso get the chance to see if they can do what they do best. But you can see they play with a lot of adventure and very little fear. Testing the Ugandan defense in so many ways. Tackler not rolling away Robert Aziku, and that's an advantage for Burkina Faso. They have a free play.
Uganda holding its own here as Burkina Faso coming in. Vugnan Flavien, and now it's shot number 6, Dao Omar, breaking through the lines here, hoping that he can get some support from his mates here. And it's a penalty to Burkina Faso with 8 minutes left.
The advantage not gained, and now they have a penalty. Interesting to see what they do this time round. I have a feeling they'll go for the line out. This is a bit farther than the previous penalty. And I do not think that the kicker will fancy himself for this one, but they need to, at some point, decide to take these chances. Sometimes you just have to get the going and just go.
It's a line out for Burkina Faso. An opportunity for them to set another phase of play, an opportunity to actually put pressure on Uganda here, who make a double swoop.
Yeah,
as
Brian Wandera and Joseph Oyet. And also a change at hooker. Is it a change or he's just communicating? Yes, it is a substitution at hooker for Burkina Faso.
Timothy Kisiga substituted, as does Byron Oketayot. The line out, well stolen by Uganda, and it's now Wandera Brian who picks it up. And the kick for territory. As you can see Paul Kalungi putting on the pressure tackles, but then just doesn't do enough to stop Kawowo of Burkina Faso, who continues to evade his markers and tacklers. Uganda trying to force a turnover here with 6 minutes of play left.
Burkina Faso have to start attacking, and attacking from deep they have to, and they have an advantage.
There's a knock on there by, but then there was an offside earlier on by the Rugby Cranes, so it's going to be a penalty to Burkina Faso.
Yeah, they get an opportunity to find touch and perhaps go for another line out. Substitute Hooker Ugra Abdul Kader did not have a good throw on his first attempt. Maybe perhaps those shivers are out of the way now. I think they have chosen to tap and go.
They're held back by the Rugby Cranes. Burkina Faso still showing energy, interest, but also a sense of urgency. Milogo. He finds Sawadogo Rachi. Burkina Faso tried to break through Uganda's defense lines, but Uganda almost turned over the ball, but then was no releasing of the tackled man, so it's ball to Burkina Faso.
Yeah, Burkina Faso yet again another penalty, but the penalty count conceded by Uganda going through the roof. That is another thing that they need to address. Burkina Faso getting all the momentum and all the opportunity. They have chosen to tap and go, not trusting their set piece. The line out hasn't been their best suit. The scrum is not really necessary in this particular position, but they have backed their big boys to carry the ball and carry it forward.
Milogo now has it for Burkina Faso. Almost loses it there. And it's a knock on. It's ball to Uganda. Good pressure coming in from the Rugby Cranes on Burkina Faso.
Yeah, you can see a lot of tired bodies there now. As you can see, Milogo, he's big frame, but he looks for the offload. Unfortunately, he has a second row's handling skills.
Yeah, actually his mate Zagreb Faikal, shot 17, gets a touch on the ball as he was trying to offload it to somebody behind him, and instead Faikal just tapped it forward, blocked its passage and tapped it forward. So that's the reason why there's a knock-on and it will be a scrummage for Team Uganda. Overall, I'm sure that for many in neutral, this has been the kind of game that they would have wanted to watch, looking at how the lead changes have been, but most importantly also seeing the way each team has applied itself tactically, Ruben.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we have seen the intensity and the lack of fear from Burkina Faso and how they have approached the strategy that Uganda has brought. But Uganda, a little bit of course, experience, a little bit of brilliance from Ivan Magomo to create some of their scores, and of course not forgetting the scrum that has really worked so well for them, getting them a penalty try and yet another dominant display there. Not forgetting Philip Okoracha as well, that has done well. So both teams have really had their advantages and their shortcomings, but there's still about 3 minutes or so to go, and it's not over. It's just a 10-point game, but Burkina Faso know that they need to score twice, either a penalty and a try, or at least 2 tries, to see how to get something out of this particular game.
It's going to be hard, especially after Philip Okoracha's kick out into touch has just given Uganda an opportunity for another set piece right in the 22 of Burkina Faso.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Uganda to finally put this game to bed.
Kill it off.
Yeah, they have not been comfortable throughout the game. They conceded fast, and then they came and they took the lead, and they have been trying to build a lead. But every time they take the lead, Burkina Faso comes back, and yet again they are trying to employ the maul. Nathan Bwambale at the base with the ball in hand, and another maul goes to the ground. This time around, the referee says it is due to Uganda's inability to keep it up, as Brian Wandera carries, and Paul Kalungi tries to speed up the ball.
Joseph Aredo gains ground here, still has ball in hand, goes down and releases the ball. Paul Kalungi picks it up, doing a good job, and then passed in for Michael Toh after that offload from his captain. And now Robert Aziku has played for the national team for quite a while now, carries bundles of experience, and now Sauti Vumbi releases the ball, and again Karunji, and then there's a tap away, then the pass there to
that is.
Ivan Magomo tried to dash in.
Yeah, it was a bit of a maybe tired hands from Paul Kalunji with a loose pass, and then Ivan Magom trying to make the most of it with a kick, and of course with the final bounce there, he's unable to dot down for the try, but he complains that perhaps he was infringed while in that, but advantage is still with Uganda. They have a penalty, and I think that Philip Okorachi is calling for a scrum, maybe to eat up some time as well. But you'd think that it would be better for him to go for the points and then make it 28, which is beyond a 2-point score margin.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. Actually, it would be at 13, I think, and that would be close, but it would stretch the lead further. Well.
Interesting decision here made by the Rugby Cranes, especially seeing a big opportunity to add 3 extra points as Paul Kalunji about to feed the ball in, but something just didn't please the referee, so they've got to set up the scrummage again.
Yeah, a reset there, need for better execution of the scrum, but also, as we have been saying all throughout match day 2, that player safety at scrum time is very, very important, and that is one of the emphasis points for referees in World Rugby. And a penalty there, collapsing of the scrum, or bringing down the scrum, and I'm sure the Ugandans, of course, to eat some more time, and as well as milking a penalty, they have noticed the advantage or the superiority when it comes to scrum time.
Yeah.
So they are going to call for another scrum and try to
eat up as much time.
And roll it as well. Maybe they can get a second penalty try.
Yeah.
That could be an amazing display for the
yeah.
forwards. I mean, it has been quite a tough day for them, but they will hold their heads high with such efforts, especially at scrum time.
Yeah, the interesting thing is seeing Charles Uhuru pushing for the scrum. He's just not tired of pushing the opponents out. Paul Kalunji now to Philip Wokorach, held back by Burkina Faso, but still has the ball, finds Paul Kalunji. And the ball is picked up by Burkina Faso. They forced the turnover.
Hesitation from Paul Kalunji, and he gets the ball knocked out of his hands for a turnover.
And there is a penalty to Burkina Faso.
Tackler not releasing there. Penalty to Burkina Faso. They do not have enough time, so they need to do whatever they are planning to do very quick.
Yeah, they've got about 1.5 minutes to play. Caught
Advantage
in 2 minds
again
there.
to Uganda, offside. I mean, advantage to Burkina Faso, offside.
Milogovis Maurice bulldozing his way past the Ugandan defense line, but
Milogo has really carried well all game, and we see the line break there.
As Uganda continue to be placed under pressure there, as final hood goes there, as Nathan Bwambale goes down, grimacing in pain, as I've picked up an injury there.
And I think with that, of course, Burkina Faso is going to be going for the line out, but even if they do score, they don't have an opportunity for the restart. So Uganda will get this win, but it hasn't been really comfortable for them, really. It's one they'll still go back, but they will be happy to get a win nonetheless. This win ideally confirms that they will not be relegated from the top tier.
Yeah.
And they will be contesting for the 5th, 6th position on Sunday against Senegal.
And I guess, again, it is an opportunity to keep their 2027 Rugby World Cup hopes alive.
Yeah, remember, of course, the tournament next year is still going to be here, the Rugby Africa Cup, which will double as a World Cup qualifier. And it's important, of course, for the home nation to be part of it, because that would be quite a scene for Uganda not to be part of a tournament that they are hosting. And this is a very, very important win, and they know they needed it. The coaches needed it, as Burkina Faso is trying to effect its line out in what is their last play
Well, the key thing for you, the Rugby Cranes, is that they remain a work in progress from what we've just seen of them over the last few days.
Yeah, definitely a lot of new players in the fray that need to get acclimatized to the standards. And also the 15s rugby in the country needs to really have a lot more time to gel and to play better rugby. There was a time when rugby 15s in Uganda had taken a bit of a break and the emphasis was on the 7s. So now is an important time for rugby in the 15s category to really get some more time, as Ivan Magomu kicks the ball as far as he can. And that is
the final act, as it is. Uganda running out 25-15 winners in what has been a hard-earned victory. But what a relief for those fans, and of course for the man there, Philip Wokoraj, whose application in this game has really been exceptional, getting himself in the thick of things, contributing the points, but also showing his leadership skills when it mattered most. Uganda make their way into the 5th, 6th place playoff final that will be preceding the main final on Sunday, as they send Burkina Faso to battle against Ivory Coast on Sunday to see who avoids the drop, having finished 8th. It's been an interesting game of rugby, but one that has kept many fans on tenterhooks. John Vianney Simbe, on behalf of my colleague Ruben Chihumuro, I can only say you've been a wonderful audience. Courtesy of NBS Sport and Kawowo Sport, we thank you for tuning in, and until we meet next time, it is goodbye.
All right, another game coming to an end. Uganda winning that one by 10 points, 25-15. It was, as Uganda came out on top. Burkina Faso and Abu here, man of the match. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Fraîche. Ouais, merci. Je félicite les deux équipes. Ils ont fait un bon match. Et même si ça n'a pas marché pour nous, on sort la tête haute et on se prépare pour le prochain.